Friends and family, I have like way too much to say about Gigantic. Honestly, this is like my 5th time re-recording this video, so hopefully this will be succinct enough that you just immediately understand that this is a good freaking game. So yeah, hey, my name is Skylent. I run the video game party club. You can actually click the link in the description. It's a Discord server where we just meet up, hang out, do events, and especially trying to do like stuff like game invasions, which Gigantic, yeah, I'm announcing we are doing a game invasion. But today I'm giving you my first impressions of this beta experience. Now I say beta, but like is it fair? Because this game has been like fully released at one point and then shut down a couple times. So it was originally published by Xbox. So that's where you see the amazing, Microsoft polish right here, right? With the characters, the animations, and the abilities. The core of Gigantic was always like freaking fantastic. It was just also that core was fundamentally flawed in the gameplay aspect, where before Gigantic had like so many weird phases to the match, and it was like such a weird game mode because they do try to incorporate the namesake, these giants, the clashing titans, epic battles, but it never really felt great. I can say that. Honestly, it was almost strenuous to do videos on Gigantic, and you look back on my channel, I did a lot of first impressions and first looks on these characters, and I can tell you that I couldn't play for too long, maybe an hour max. And it was just a lot. It was, I don't know, it just felt sort of like a chore, even as much as I loved like the core idea of Gigantic. So now, what is my first impressions? Holy crap. I don't know what magic they did. I can kind of actually tell you, but the casual just jump in, fuck around and find out experience is amazing. Absolutely reminds me so much of like Smite Arena. And if you play Smite Arena, that's pretty much it. There's very few other free-to-play brawler games that, they're kind of fun, but I don't think they have what something like Battle Right had, Smite Arena had. You can go and play Overwatch and Paladins. These sort of experiences where you just jump in, try to learn new characters, there's fireballs and machine guns and just kind of bullshit happening around, or in the case of Smite, like summoning tornadoes, because you're playing with gods. It's really fun just to try out these wacky characters and press buttons and see the abilities. And I think that Gigantic makes it so freaking easy. These new tutorials and the new game mode, everything just has a really awesome new user experience, I guess. There's some core hurdles to overcome. Like if you're not used to using a stamina bar or managing resources in that way, it can feel a little strange. But overall, I think most people are going to be able to jump in and just have a great time. There's a couple of character archetypes that I am normally biased towards. So, and historically, I played in Gigantic, where I played the really mobile, aggressive characters. Generally, they're very agile. So Tito and Trip are so fun. And I can say they're more fun in this version, especially if you play it casually, right? And there are skills in the game where you can actually have progression, similar to MOBAs. But it's actually very similar to Smite, how they solved the complexity and pacing issue. So you can auto skill, you can also select the loadout before the match, you just kind of get everything up front, your character is kitted out, and then you just progress from there automatically. And it also lets you know as a new player, it's like, hey, this is how you could be more tanky, or this is how you could be more assassin focused, etc. You just immediately jump in and go. Now, in saying that, certain characters do certain things in certain games better. I can absolutely admit that. Faster paced games, maybe the fast character is good in that. So yeah, fast characters are really freaking awesome in this game, obviously, because it's such a fast, agile game. And it's not like very range focused, so melee is also really good. So in general, the warrior, bruiser / assassin characters really excel in Gigantic. Now, in saying that, I was actually so pleasantly surprised to see how they did supports in this game. Even though there's no holy trinity like tank, healer, and then like long range DPS with an explosive DPS, no, this is actually just like anybody does whatever they want. It reminds me of like the early days of MOBAs, or maybe an MMO Battleground, and the early days of like Season 1 Overwatch, right? There's certain instances and times where it's just like everything is bananas and to the wall. But like, what if a game was designed with that, in mind? And in mind, I can say Team Fortress 2 did it really well. There's a tremendous skill ceiling for skill expression, and yet you're not expected to commit to it because it's just like, it's almost like winning is secondary. That's a secondary goal. It's making a statement. That's the primary goal. And I think Gigantic can actually give you that feeling as well. And I'm sure you guys play a lot of games like that. You can play any game like that, but there's just, wow, Gigantic is just so fun to just pick a character and just be goofy, you know, just be annoying, or obviously very cooperative with your team. Now, in saying that, with the maps that they've chosen, and the new maps actually look gorgeous, but with the design of the map and the overall pacing of the game, really lending itself well, obviously, to fast-paced gameplay, now it's so much easier to kind of like, I guess, intercept your team if you kind of run away, or be intercepted, or have people like back you up. It kind of always feels like it is a team fight. Like it's team fight from the very beginning. And some people used to describe like Heroes of the Storm like this, and obviously Battle Right, that's what that is. There was definitely this trend for people who wanted that experience from MOBAs and MMO Battlegrounds, but they wanted it more polished, bigger, better, and more instantaneous. You know, not having to just have a couple team fights in a 40-minute match. No, Gigantic is very brief. You freaking launch out of an airship. The respawn timer, I think the longest I ever saw was like 7 seconds. I don't know. It really wasn't long at all. And you just jump in, you just throw down, basically. And yet, it's not just an empty coliseum, which was kind of a problem with Battle Right. As an arena game, you need good arenas. And I really love the mix of verticality, open, closed spaces, and I feel like everyone has a chance to shine here in terms of an archetype. Now, they don't have too many characters, and those characters, again, are skewed more toward melee, more toward the brawler, and more toward like the magical type of elements, but there's overall just like a pretty good mix. I think someone's going to find a character for everyone. Overall, I'm really surprised that I fell in love with Grismelda, you know, like somebody who loves assassins and agility. You know what? It's actually really cool because of the pacing of the game, because if it's more team-oriented. I don't really have a jungle to go around and gank people. I don't have a sniper rifle to just headshot anybody I want whenever I want. The I win buttons don't exactly work like in Overwatch or Paladins, where you just press a button and everyone dies. There is a different feel and vibe to the game, and because of that, it lets me, who has my biases, I was a little bit open-minded, and I was able to explore and find that the support role was actually super cool. Again, you're not like hard-coded to be the healer. You support in weird, wacky ways, and that kind of goes for everything in this game. Like, you think like tanking in certain games is like you just have big shields, or maybe possibly you do lots of stuns. In this game, tanking is actually more about mobility in a weird way. It is about being like, obviously you can create walls, or you can like stomp the ground and everyone gets stunned. You are supposed to be annoying, but also you can skew it to be kind of more assassin oriented, or you can, for the most part, you do want to have like get in, get out. Because of the way that the healing works in this game, you know, you don't have dedicated healers or, you know, resurrections and things like that. You don't have giant dome bubbles protecting everyone all the time. It's a very strange game, but it's really more nuanced in some ways because they've gotten rid of the Holy Trinity. Now we'll see how that actually operates. It might be strange. I have actually played Guild Wars 2 PvP, so I kind of know how fun that can be, but also how frustrating it is because people expect a certain flow to a game. It's like, oh, am I the healer? I'm not. Am I the tank? Oh, I'm not quite. Like, I don't have to just stand there. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, Gigantic looks like it plays a certain way, and you get in, and you're like, oh, this isn't Overwatch. And there's just, you know, that's a hurdle to overcome. But if you do overcome that, you'll learn to appreciate supporting in a way that you've never thought possible, basically being an annoying cartoon character. You'll see tanking as a way that's maybe a little bit more realistic in a way where it's like, okay, I'm going to stomp around, but like I literally can't just base tank every bullet ever and be healed by a magic angel. Right, no, that's not going to happen. And then also, assassinating is going to feel more earned. It is not going to be instantaneous. You don't have I win buttons. You won't just 100 someone instantaneously. No, everyone's going to have a fighting chance because it has a really high time to kill. Plus, there is a stamina bar. So you can use stamina as a choice to dodge, to run long distances, or to use as a lunge attack in order to catch people as they're running, things like this. And I think that is such a cool mechanic, but it is definitely not quite intuitive to people who aren't used to it. So keep that in mind, watch out. But with this, it creates a high time to kill. And with a small map where everyone is mobile and able to run around, you have this experience where everything is like, it's always a team fight. Even if you're kind of far away from your team, not really, people can get there. You can be assisted, and so there's always this ebb and flow that is mostly constrained to everyone is unga boonga all the time. And that's really interesting, you know? So when you do assassinate and when you are actually brawling, you will actually be able to feel like a flow state where you are like ducking and weaving, going in and into the fight, out of the fight. and it doesn't really ever feel bad. Sometimes you have to do this in games like Team Fortress 2 especially, or like Overwatch, where it can feel bad sometimes to run and get a health pack, you know, when you don't have a healer alive. You would think that would happen in Gigantic, but now I think finally in this form, where the maps are exactly the way this is, and the characters are running at the pace that they are, and the game overall, its feel has finally come together. And so for the first time, I can say, I know it's in beta, but this is finally the true form of Gigantic. And I think when it launches, it didn't come out 7 years ago and fail. It just never came out. That's what it feels like. And finally, it is coming out. We are finally getting Gigantic. And I can't wait to play it. Now, there's so much more commentary to be had on the nuanced mechanics, individual characters, how they operate, the roles, the balance, as well as the new game modes, ranked mode coming out, and all of that. I want to talk about it, but basically, my first impressions, a lot of the characters are super fun. The team compositions, it's wacky and weird, but I don't think it matters too much, actually. And maybe it's even more fun if you try to do like a full support team, I don't know, a full Unga Bunga tank team. Maybe, try it, I don't know. Regardless, right now, in its chaotic, you know, form, we're in the primordial soup of the launch of Gigantic. I don't know what it is, I don't know where it's going, but I don't care, you know? I'm having fun now, like for real, guys, and I hope you can join me. So, in saying that, guys, links in the description for the video game party club that I run. It's a Discord server where we get together, do events, and specifically with Gigantic, we're doing a game invasion and doing giveaways and stuff. So, can't wait to see you guys there, and that's pretty much it. I want to ask you guys, who's your favorite character in this game? Character-based game, I love them. I'm really torn between Tito, Grismelda, and the Armadillo. I don't know. I guess it depends on the if there's roles that develop and which one I'm going to main. But yeah, if you guys want to make a team, let's play. But who's your favorite character? Let me know. And hopefully I'll see you guys in Gigantic soon. Much love. Yeah. See you in the next one.